action. And Betflow. App in action.
WNBA fans, welcome to Betflow, and we're getting ready for the WNBA Finals in the year 2025. Remember the old sketch there on Conan, in the year 2000? Well, we are past the year 2000. We're here in 2025, and we're on Betflow, and we're on the Betflow filter for the WNBA, and we're going to check some 100% hit rate flows. What is a flow? It's a profitable winning trend over the course of time. And these particular flows by the thousands here on Betflow, these ones right here, these are all flows that have a 100% hit rate over the course of time. And Betflow even gives you the sample size with the graphs in greens for W's and reds for losses. And you notice on this chart, there are no losses. So let's see what this one is for 100%. Obviously a large sample. There have been more than 41.5 total points scored in the first quarter in 10 of the last 10 Indiana away games played at night with the local start time after 6 p.m. That's pretty freaking cool. We can see here we got one at Vegas. That's probably one of the more recent playoff games, probably game 1 or game 2. We got at Atlanta, another playoff series. Wow, 56-point first quarter there. You can see that second most recent on the chart. And we go all the way back to the New York Liberty. You got to figure that's probably the last couple of weeks of the regular season. Look at all the 50-point quarters that the Fever have played in the first quarter specifically. This is something that only Betflow can show you. We're also going to do something really cool here. We're going to go to some of the player props here. And remember, these are all 100 percentiles. This one here is for Chelsea Gray. But we're going to do something different. This is what they call the trend blender. And this is where we can take really minuscule, awesome details that can be broken down and plugged into your specific bets. So for this example, we've got time of day in the calendar. So we're going to go a night game in the month of September, because this is the very last game of the semis here. And before we go into the finals, guess what? It's also the last day of September. This is really cool. Look at this. Affiliation history. We can go versus former teammates. What about going against teams that passed on drafting Chelsea Gray? This is incredible. We'll keep it at that. 4 out of 5 conversion. You know what? Let's go for the full Monty here. Let's go for venue details, Party City. Well, guess what? Las Vegas is a party city. And we're going to hit 5 out of 5 conversion. And look what it does here. It's going to give us a whole bunch of flows that meet the criteria. Time of day, at night, calendar, September, affiliation history versus former teammates, draft history. These are teams who passed on drafting Chelsea Gray, and then venue details in a party city. Look at this. Analytical flows found. Remember, we have 2 types of flows, analytical and whimsical. Analytical are the ones that only come with our premium packages, because those are the ones that are going to knock it out of the park consistently when it comes to profitability, because those are the meat and potato statistics and data, as opposed to the whimsical flows that are a blast, but they're there to have some fun and not be so deep dive oriented into the details. But these are the deep dives, the analytical. So let's see what we got. Betflow saying that we were able to find or to use 5 out of 5 of your filters to create 5 unique flows. Let's see what we got here. Chelsea Gray has had more than 13.5 points and rebounds in 18 of 26 home games this season played in a party city. Now remember, we blended this trend. So this is not a 100% trend, but this is still a pretty cool trend in itself. It's hitting right now at 69%, and that's over the course of the season. So that looks like, we're talking 20 plus most likely on that sample. But this is what's so awesome about Betflow. What if we want to look at the last 10? Boom. See how it changes right there? And now that tells you that's at 70%. We can see right here, versus Indiana, versus Indiana, versus Seattle, versus Seattle. So those most recent 4 here on the chart, represented in the greens and reds, greens for wins, of course, those are all playoff games. And then the first 6 of the chart, which 5 out of 6 of those are obviously green, so those are W's. Those are all towards the end of the regular season. Now, the last thing we're going to do here, we're just going to go through the other 4 that were generated. This one is for assists. Let's check this one out. This one has a nice little plus price. Chelsea Gray has had more than 7.5 assists in 10 of the last 20 September home games. Now, that's only 50%. But because of the price at plus 284, 50% is still going to make you a nice chunk of change overall. I'm not even going to do the math right now. But at a plus 284 payout, 50% is balling. So that's a nice little sample right there. Something to check out. And then we'll just close these last 3 out real quick. And then we'll maybe add something to the cart and say la vie. So Chelsea Gray has had more than 17.5 points and rebounds. 5 of the last 8 home games versus Indiana and a former teammate. Odyssey Sims plays for the opposing team. I believe Odyssey Sims at one point did play on the Las Vegas Aces and therefore played with Chelsea Gray. And so Betflow has a flow for that. And it's a nice flow, 63% head-to-head. You see right there 5 greens, 4 reds. And then last but not least, let's finish out with these last couple. Chelsea Gray, more than 15.5 points and rebounds, 17 out of 35. That's a 49 percentile. We're going to go ahead and skip that one, even at plus 135. Not bad, but I think we got the one that we want to take here. Let's just look at this last one. Chelsea Gray has had more than 5.5 assists in 13 of the last 20 games played against teams who could have drafted her in the 2014 WNBA draft. Wow, time flies. 2014, it's been that long. You know, they call her the point guard, and she's one of the best point guards in WNBA history. So they could have chosen her, but chose another player instead. In that year's draft, Indiana had pick number 9. I was not aware of that. I wonder who they took in 2014. It definitely wasn't Chelsea Gray, future Hall of Famer. So in this case, the over 5.5 assists at minus 114 is a 65% win rate. Man, we might take this one instead. We might throw this one in the cart. If you look at the last 20 is 65%, but the last 10 is 70%. And boom, tough acting, tenactin, a little John Madden, the late great. Boom, 80% for the last 5. That is 2 versus Indiana, 3, 4. So we're talking basically the entire series because we're going into game 5 versus Indiana. She's hit this 3 out of the 4 games in this series. And then when we include only the last 5, that also has one of the Seattle playoff games in there, most likely the last of that series. This is awesome. We're going to add this to the cart. And I think we're going to go ahead and just stick with that as a straight wager. Matter of fact, I'm going to show y'all something here. Now that we got that in the cart, we can also parlay these. But we're going to demonstrate the parlay option. But when it's all said and done, we're going to probably finish with a straight wager. So let's wrap it up by going to the cart. See, we got 2 straight wagers. Chelsea Gray over 15.5 points and rebounds, plus 135 price. And Chelsea Gray over 5.5 assists, minus 145 price. That's the one I'm really feeling. But let's check the parlay option. We click that, and this shows you that if we go to checkout, matter of fact, we can do that right now. We'll go to checkout, see if that's available in any books. They're only showing 1 of 2 at all books right now. This top one here being FanDuel. So since the parlay is not fully available right now, let's go ahead and take one of ours. Straight bet. I believe this is the one that we're going to take. The one that we liked from the moment we saw it. And we see it's available here. And look at some of the prices. I believe that top one is Underdog Fantasy. They've got it at minus 114. The consensus the rest of the way is minus 130s, minus 140s, and a few minus 150s. Well, let's check out the minus 114. Let's see if we can't take that at the best possible price. We hit sign up, and that will take us off the screen. As you cannot see it right now, that takes us to that actual sportsbook sign up page. So, with that being said, you can only do this on Betflow. And let's face it, why would you not want to enjoy this technology, enjoy the convenience, a few clicks, You're checking all this criteria, all these graphs, all these charts, all this information, all this historic data from a winning perspective broken down with the math for you in the win percentages on every sample. All you got to do is just follow the lead that Betflow sets for you. They take care of everything, but you're in control. It's your spaceship. It's your control panel. It's your dashboard. You decide where that spaceship is going to fly. I think that's pretty cool. So enjoy yourself. Let's see what happens in Game 5. And this is just a preview of all the awesome things we'll be able to do for the 2025 WNBA Finals. We'll see y'all there. Thanks for joining us. Peace.